Hello, everyone. My name is Jeff Daly. I am a principal member of technical staff at AMD. I have the privilege of speaking to you today about getting started with PyTorch on AMD GPUs. So I have the pleasure of working with a fantastic team, and I really need to highlight them here. So every one of them contributes to making PyTorch either more performant or robust. You'll find many of their usernames on pull requests and issues, but really you can't count source line contributions alone. And that's because a lot of them work behind the scenes too, working on features, performance tuning, CI maintenance. The bottom line is this team represents a significant investment from AMD to the success of PyTorch on AMD GPUs. So today I'll be covering the hardware and software products from AMD that enable running PyTorch on AMD GPUs, and I'll finish with some exciting performance results. So I'm going to start by introducing the AMD ROCm software stack, but I really need to talk about our GPUs first. So AMD builds high-performance computing solutions for a broad range of use cases, from PC gamers to data center platforms. So while traditional GPUs have been built to be general purpose in nature, designed to drive both graphics-oriented as well as compute-oriented workloads, AMD recently introduced a different approach to fuel even higher efficiencies. So now there are two architectures. AMD RDNA is optimized for gaming to maximize frames per second, and AMD CDNA is optimized for computing to push the limits of floating point operations per second. But more importantly, both of these architectures can run PyTorch, and that's enabled by the AMD ROCm software stack. So ROCm provides a complete set of libraries that you would come to expect. Starting from the bottom up, we have driver support across several Linux distributions. Sitting on top of that is our HIP language, compiler, and runtime, as well as a debugger and profiler. Math libraries such as BLAS, solvers, MIOpen, which is for convolutions, RNNs, and normalizations. All of these lower layers is what we build on top of to enable frameworks such as PyTorch. And thanks to ROCm, you can run PyTorch today on the RDNA-based AMD Radeon Pro V620 or the CDNA-based AMD Instinct MI250 GPUs, just to name two. It's the same ROCm, and a critical piece of ROCm is HIP, so let's take a closer look. HIP is a C++ runtime API and kernel language that allows developers to create portable applications for AMD and NVIDIA GPUs from a single source code. You can compile HIP C++ code for either platform, which means if you develop new projects directly in HIP, it'll work on both. But we do recognize that there are many existing projects, and so we provide porting tools. These tools make it easy to port CUDA code to HIP. It's a source-to-source translation tool called Hipify. There are a few implementations of Hipify today. One of them is Hipify Clang, which allows you to translate C++ code. But we also have Torch Hipify, which is a custom Hipify built right into PyTorch. It's in the Torch utils directory. It's baked right in, and it's pure Python. So you can start with any of these HIP codes and now compile it for either platform, such as PyTorch as one of these codes. So the similarities are pretty apparent, but there are differences too, and we need to highlight those. So we do expect developers would need to conditionalize, compile their code in some cases to protect against hardware differences or software differences, or even specifically performance differences when we tune for specific platforms. And so, for example, what CUDA calls a warp, we call a wavefront, and on NVIDIA devices, the warp size is 32, but on our hardware, CDNA-based GPUs, it is 64. And that's just one example of a difference that we'd have to conditionally compile to protect or to optimize for. But you really don't have to worry about PyTorch because we've taken care of all of that for you. We've already done the porting effort. Okay, and to help illustrate Hipify, let's take an example and look at it. All right, so the original CUDA code is on the left, highlighting specific CUDA API calls. And the HIP version of it is on the right. And you can see the similarities right off the bat. Okay, including the triple chevron notation for launching kernels, it's the same. Our Hipify tool will take care of this for you, allowing you to get started quickly on our GPUs. Okay, so now that you've seen an example of the kind of HIP porting effort, now let's look at how to build and install ROCm PyTorch. We are absolutely proud to say that ROCm PyTorch is PyTorch. All of our code is part of mainline. So you can go to pytorch.org, the Getting Started page. You'll find us there right next to the other stable compute platforms. we have what you would expect: stable wheels, nightly wheels, Docker images as well, and soon we're going to have Conda packages too. But if you have to build it from source, it's really easy. There's only one extra step, and that's to run the Hipify tool first. And like I mentioned earlier, Hipify Torch is already part of PyTorch source code, so it's all there for you, ready to go. All right, so we've covered how we ported PyTorch to ROCm. Now let's cover an important topic of porting your workloads to ROCm PyTorch. So on the left, we see a simple PyTorch model. And as we did before with the Hipify example, here is the version of the code for ROCm. And I'll go ahead and highlight the differences for you. There are no differences. The code is identical. Okay? That's by design. You should not need to port your PyTorch workloads to ROCm running on AMD GPUs. This includes the torch.cuda module that would manage HIP streams, device management, architecture lists, memory usage, et cetera. And that's because the similarities are there. Even sending your tensors to your device, it's still CUDA. So 2 device equals CUDA, that works for us as well. It's kind of unfortunately named that way, but that's how it is. We have full feature parity with CUDA PyTorch, including the caching allocator, streams, devices, convolutions, BLAST, and nickel. Okay. All of this is regularly tested by our internal QA teams, but it also, every single PyTorch commit runs against our ROCm CI. You'll find it on the HUD if you went and looked. Okay. Furthermore, CUDA extension classes like Torch Vision that use CUDA extension, they'll run Hipify for you automatically. And there are some caveats. Some of the compiler flags need to be changed, but really it's pretty straightforward. If you want to see an example of how it's done, I recommend that you look at Torch Vision as an example. The bottom line is we wanted the minimal barrier for entry. Okay? We want you to be able to run your favorite workloads, your Hugging Face models right out of the box, no changes. So this is all intentional and by design. All right, I showed you how it works. Now let's see how fast it runs. We've used Microsoft's Superbench version 0.6 to collect these performance results. Superbench is a validation and profiling tool for AI infrastructure, which supports, among other things, workload benchmarking and profiling. So we've used it as a test harness to run some Hugging Face workloads, as well as some Torch Vision workloads. So these results feature our AMD Instinct MI250 128 gigabyte Open Accelerator Module, or OAM. And it consists of 2 graphics compute dies per OAM, compared to NVIDIA's A100 80 gigabyte SXM. Here we're presenting total training throughput, which is the harmonic mean throughput of each GCD summed across all GCDs. And this is FP16 training. You can see we're up to 1.4 times faster for transformer-based models and up to 1.6x faster for vision-based models. And the results really speak for themselves. However, we do invite you to try it yourself. Okay, you can take a test drive today using the AMD Accelerator Cloud. It offers you an environment to remotely access and evaluate AMD Instinct accelerators or AMD ROCm software. Whether it's porting legacy code, benchmarking an application, testing multi-GPU or multi-node scaling, the AMD Accelerator Cloud gives you quick and easy access to the latest GPUs and software. Software such as OpenAI Triton, which we've been working on for a while now in support of PyTorch 2.0. So some of the information I presented today can be found on docs.amd.com. That's our documentation page. There's far more information there that I could cover in the time allotted. Information about HIP, porting guides, the rest of our libraries, and much more. And you already know how to find our stable wheels, but if you want our Docker images, there's a link for you there as well, and also a link for the Accelerator Cloud. Thank you very much.